Hey, Nora,
Hey, Dad,
why don't skeletons run for political office?
because they have a lot of skeletons in the closet.
That is such a good guess. Also, a correct answer. I was going to go with because they don't have the guts.
Oh, I liked mine better.
I feel like he's better too. What are we talking about this week?
We're talking about voting.
Welcome back to the Norah and Dad show. I am, as always, the dad, and I'm here with, coming to me from her college dorm room, Nora. What's happening, Nora?
Nothing much.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
Wow, you're tired. Why are you tired?
I had an eventful day.
What? Tell me about your eventful day.
I had class.
Yeah, you
And I
always have
learned about
class.
this very complex topic in statistics.
Okay.
It actually wasn't that complex, but it was a little confusing. And then
Okay.
I took Lily to
Yeah.
Target and
Okay.
Ulta and
Okay.
Five Below
Okay.
and Joanne Fabrics.
Oh, you were all over the place.
Or it's all in one. That's over in Polaris, so it's all one spot. But
I got to meet your friend Lily on Friday night.
yes, you did.
Shout out to Farm and Brewery in Delaware, Ohio, that had you out to play some music Friday night.
It was so fun.
It was fun. You had a nice crowd on a chilly night outside.
Yeah, it wasn't really chilly until after I was done playing. Maybe it's the adrenaline. But I
It
didn't
could
feel cold
be.
until I was like walking back to my dorm.
No, you kept massaging your hands. Oh, my hands are so cold.
My hands were cold, but the rest of my body wasn't cold.
Okay. Yeah, it could be the adrenaline.
And then once I was
performing.
walking back to the dorm, my entire body was cold.
And you had a nice crowd of people you didn't know, but you had a nice crowd of people you did know too, which was really nice.
Yes, it was awesome. You got to meet lots of people.
I got to meet lots of your friends. I got to see your French professor Conrad again, who was nice enough to come down.
Got to see Cole.
Got to see Cole, who came down to watch you play. So that down and back in the span of an evening is a lot of driving.
Guess what I did to Cole?
What did you do to Cole?
Give him a haircut.
You gave him a haircut? How did that turn out?
Really good.
Okay. I'm a little afraid. Why did you give him a haircut?
Because his hair was really long and he was complaining about it. So I was like, I'll cut it. I cut it.
Okay. And it looks okay.
You can text him. It turned out very good.
I'm gonna text him and have him send me a picture.
Zoe said it looks good. His mom said it looks good.
I want to see what the Norah barber skills look like.
I did a great job. I didn't take that much off. It was like down to here, and I made it like here.
Okay.
It was really long. You saw it. It was very long.
Was that? Oh, I saw the long hair on Friday. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna text him to get a picture of as soon as we finish recording. I'm gonna hit him up for.
I can hit him up right now, and then you can have a live reaction.
Picture. Okay. Anyway, we've had this weekend coming up is going to be weird because it'll be the first weekend in 5 that I haven't seen you.
That's crazy.
It's going to be really disappointing, don't you think?
Yeah.
Do you want to come home this weekend so we can keep the streak going?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought I'd try.
I have a Global Scholars event on Saturday.
Oh, what? Do tell. What's the event?
It's the first Hollow weekend.
Oh yeah, Halloween weekends are a big. Is Cole coming back down this weekend, or is that next weekend?
The weekend after.
The weekend after.
Me, Tom, and Jerry this weekend.
You and your friend Lily are being what? Did you say Tom and Jerry?
Yeah.
And you're Tom the cat?
No,
or Jerry. You're Jerry the mouse. Okay.
Yeah. And even though I'm taller than Lily.
And then what party are you going to on Saturday night for Halloween?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet? You got to go somewhere to show off the. Not that I'm encouraging my daughter to party, but you got to go somewhere to show off the costume.
Did Cole text you?
I'm on DND because we're recording, so not as of yet.
Oh, right.
Oh, wait, he did. Oh, it doesn't look bad.
I did a great job.
Other than, it looks like it looks like a mugshot he sent me.
I did a better job with the.
He could have at least cracked a smile. He looks like he's like angry at his BMV photo. But aside from that, yeah, the hair does not look bad. Yeah, so you were home last weekend for fall break, you got to do 2 things you never did before last weekend.
2 things?
2 things. You got to work with your dad.
I did.
And you got to go vote. So let's take them in reverse chronological order, since I think we voted in the morning and then we worked in the evening. I got to bartend at the wine cellar while you were working.
It was fun.
It was fun. There was nobody there. It was like the quietest night in the history of the place.
No, not the quietest.
It was pretty darn quiet.
For a Saturday, it was really quiet.
I think
it's that quiet on Thursdays.
I think I had 4 customers the entire night.
I had fun. I made money. That's all I care about.
I had a blast. I get to go drink wine in 10 bars. So there's 2 things that are a lot of fun. I've never attended bar before. I took a bartending class when I was in college. And I'm genetically predisposed to bartending because your grandfather owned bars. And then
it wasn't really bartending.
Your great grandfather. I was pouring wine.
You were just pouring wine.
I was pouring wine. But it was behind a bar. That qualifies as bar.
I could do that. Did you do the Mike specialty where you filled the glass up a bunch, or did you do like normal pours?
Mike told me I could pour. He said there's no wrong answer to how big of a pour you give. So he said you can.
You know what? That's crazy coming from him.
So he said you can give like the way he described it was he said you can give a normal sized pour, you can give a small pour, or you can give a Bob sized pour. Is what he said.
Okay.
So he said there's no right or wrong answer as to how big of the pours you give.
What route did you go?
I went somewhere in the middle, I think. Maybe in the middle, maybe slightly on the heavy side.
Slightly on the Bob side?
Slightly on the Bob side. A little on the heavy side. But I only had, I think, 6 people do the wine tasting, I think.
Oh, I deep cleaned the kitchen. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was fine. I told Mike, the owner, that I would come back and bartend anytime. I went on a date with your Aunt Kathleen on Saturday night because mom's in Vegas and Uncle Mike's in Hilton Head. So I took Aunt Kathleen to dinner, and then we stopped in the wine cellar afterwards to wait for Donovan to finish working. And Mike was there, and I told him, "I'll put me on the list. I'll come back and bartend anytime you need someone to come in and pinch hit to bartend. I'm more than happy to do it." So
I'm working again the week of Thanksgiving, that Friday and Saturday.
That Friday and Saturday. Interesting.
I'm going to see if I can work every Thursday and Saturday over winter break.
At the wine cellar? Oh, so what I was going to say before we got sidetracked was you don't like seeing your bank account go down.
No, I'm going to get a job on campus next semester.
Are you?
Because you saw my schedule. On Tuesday, Thursday, my first class is I added another class at 1.
Oh, what do you have?
A women and gender studies class.
Fun.
So, but it's a 300 level, so I have to talk to my professor and see if I can there's no prerequisites though.
Overachiever.
So we'll see. And then I'm going to work at the cafe.
Is it like an English class, or is it a history class, or is it like a sociology class? What department is it in?
Women and gender studies.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. You could I think you'd be fine in a 300 level class.
I do too.
Yeah, like I really think you'd be fine. Cool. So get a job doing what on campus? Like what kind of job do you want to do?
I would like to work at the Bishop Cafe.
What is the Bishop Cafe?
They make edible food.
They make, as opposed to the inedible food they have in the dining hall?
But it's weird because it's the same chefs, it's the same ingredients. It just tastes a lot better at Bishop Cafe.
That's really interesting.
Because you have to pay for the stuff at Bishop Cafe.
Okay.
It's dining dollars, not meal swipes.
Okay. But it's the same food, like the same menu,
food.
Or is it a different menu?
And same ingredients.
Okay.
The pizzas at Bishop Cafe taste way better than the pizzas in Smith.
Interesting.
Because they use pizza sauce. And in Smith, they use pasta sauce.
Interesting.
And the pasta sauce is chunky and gross.
Can you start a petition to have regular like pizza sauce in Smith? How does that work?
I don't know.
You should start a protest.
All I know is that they had pumpkin pie ice cream yesterday, and I was really happy about that.
Oh, take the victories where you can get them.
Yeah. They had birthday cake ice cream and pumpkin pie ice cream.
Take the victories where you can get them. So that was news number 1 on Saturday, was that you and I got to work together at the wine cellar, which was super fun. And the other big news on Saturday was that you got to vote for the first time, and hopefully not the last time.
Oh, yes, I hope not.
It was a freaking party voting.
So I was telling everyone here, I was like, yeah, I voted. They rang a bell. They're like, what? That's not going to happen.
Yeah. So there was, first of all, for those that don't live in Ohio, we have early voting here, which instead of just mailing in your ballot early, you actually go down to the county board of elections during designated times, and you actually like vote as if you were voting on election day with a ballot and a polling booth and the whole deal. And it was crazy busy down there for a Saturday afternoon or Friday afternoon at like lunchtime. It was insanely busy. Like hundreds of people waiting in line to vote.
But we got out of there within 30, 40 minutes.
About an hour. We were there like an hour start to finish, I think. But you have to wait in line to get in the building, and that went down to the end of the block. And then when you get in the building, I figured we were just going to go up and vote. And then there's like Cedar Point, like rope-a-dope lines.
Disney level.
Yeah, or like Disney World level, like snake through 11 rows or 12 rows of lines to get up to the front. And there was like 20 different stations open where you can check in and get your ballot. But yeah, for every first-time voter, if you told them you were a first-time voter, they rang a bell and then everybody cheered.
And it was awesome.
And it was super cool. What a cool experience. I don't remember the first time I voted. I remember the first election was the Bill Clinton, George Bush election in 1992 was the first presidential election I voted in. So I remember it, but I don't remember. And I know I voted in New York where I went to college. I remember that, but otherwise I don't remember anything about the experience at all.
That was a pretty cool experience.
Yeah.
You have a video of it?
I did take a little video, and I got to, you know what? We can, should we play some audio of them cheering for you?
Sure.
So let's play some audio of you checking in to vote for the first time and the poll workers ringing the bell and cheering for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty cool experience all around. You got your voting sticker. That's always fun.
I did.
Were you nervous you were gonna bubble in the wrong name?
I did read over it about 3 times before. I did it like a test. Like you read over a test before you turn it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it would suck if you bubbled in the wrong name and then you ended up voting for the wrong person. I'm gonna try and keep this apolitical. Should we keep this apolitical, or we don't care?
Based off of your Instagram account, I don't think anything's apolitical.
That's fair.
By the way, it's a bit of a running joke right now with me and my friends that you hate Donald Trump, and I think it's funny.
Oh, I'm not a fan.
Lily thinks it's iconic in their words.
Why iconic? Why?
It's just funny. Like the thing you said about Grimace, that was so funny.
There's never a human being I've disliked more in my life than him.
My favorite of all...
And I realize that by saying that in a podcast, I'm probably signing myself up for a forced labor camp if he wins.
Yeah, whatever. My favorite of all time is how you post every day about how The Apprentice tapes should be released.
They should be.
And you do it every day like clockwork, and I think it's really funny.
I'm not sure I did. I'm not actually sure I did it today, but...
You didn't do it today? You have to do it.
I'll have to do it when we stop recording. Somebody somewhere has tapes of Donald Trump using the N-word. It's enough people have said he did it on the set of The Apprentice that
someone has it.
Someone has tapes somewhere, and why we haven't seen them yet or heard them yet, I have no idea.
They're probably shoving money at him.
But we got 14 days. For them. 14 days until the election. That's 14 days for someone to release those tapes and show the world what a giant, colossal, racist turd he really is, for those that don't already know it.
Maybe they'll release it on election day.
Oh, it's too late by then. People have already voted. The day before election day would be the best. Apparently, everybody who worked on the show signed non-disclosure agreements with gigantic monetary penalties, but they've now expired. In the last 6 months, all those agreements expired, so anybody who wants to talk is free to talk, supposedly.
I say let them talk.
If you believe what you read on the internet. And the internet never lies, so I don't know why that would not be true.
Never lies ever.
Never lies ever. So I'm legitimately not a fan, and I am legitimately concerned for what's going to happen to our country if the election goes the wrong way. Or worse, if it goes the right way, but he steals it.
Which is why you need to vote.
Yes. Make a plan. Make sure you know what your voting plan is. Get to the ballot box and vote. And really,
and if you live in Ohio, educate yourself on issue 1.
Yes, issue 1,
and
which will end gerrymandering in the state of Ohio. I think it's a really important election for a lot of reasons. And I say make sure you have a plan to vote, but really only have a plan if you're going to vote a certain way. I don't know.
Everybody is entitled to their own opinions, and the democratic system will work in the way that it's supposed to if everybody does things legally.
I would pull in Elon and offer $1 million to vote for Kamala, but A, I don't have it, and B, it's illegal.
How is that legal?
It's not legal, okay. And I think he's gonna go to prison for it. You can't pay people for their votes. It's an election. It's an election, whether it's like election fraud or election bribery, it's definitely a federal crime and you can't do it. And they were saying on CNN this afternoon that the Justice Department is looking into it.
Well, and also, how can you prove that you voted for him or not?
You can't. He's saying it's for signing his petition to support like a certain candidate or something. I don't know. He's a doofus. So did you feel like empowered by voting?
I felt very adult.
It is like a really adult thing to do.
Yeah, very adult.
And it's one of the great, I mean, it's one of the great, I think it's one of the great feelings you have as an adult to go actually participate in the democratic process, to go and, I would say we used to pull levers, but
that sounds more fun than bubbling in paper.
They used to, when I used to go vote with your grandparents back in Pennsylvania, and they have giant like polling machines where you walk in and then the ballot is in front of you on like a wall in front of you. And then every candidate has a switch and you flick the switch to register your vote. But in order for it to be private, there's this giant like 3-foot long lever that you swing that closes the curtain behind you, and it made this giant like clang when you close it. And then when you swing it back the other way, that's when it like registers your votes. So it releases your ballot and then it resets the machine, and then it makes a giant clang as it opens up. It felt like substantial because it would clunk as
I say we bring that back. That sounds fun.
Yeah. It was fun.
Do they still have them in Pennsylvania, or is it all paper ballots now?
I'll have to ask your grandparents. I don't know. I really don't know. We used to get the day off from school too because are you Googling the? I think they might be paper ballots now, or maybe even electronic. I don't think they have those voting machines anymore. Survey says
they're at risk. I don't know what that means.
They're at risk.
I'm not getting a concrete answer.
Oh, does that mean they're at risk? Like they're like susceptible to fraud? We don't want fraud.
Maybe. Oh, they're at the center of web conspiracy theories.
Oh, of course. Everything's a conspiracy.
Tested for accuracy.
But paper ballots are also are the middle of conspiracies, as are computer ballots and everything. Everything's a conspiracy. So that's the plan, is you undermine the legitimacy of the election so that when you lose, you can then say, well, this is illegitimate. So we need to throw it out and just make me the winner. Because that's, of course, what the result would have been if this was a fair election.
Oh, these ones don't have curtains.
No?
No.
Oh.
They're different.
Mine growing up had a curtain, and it was awesome. And I miss those machines. I miss those machines a lot. I also miss the day off from school, which was also awesome.
I think that should be a national holiday.
I think you would get much higher participation if now... I can make an argument that people who don't vote maybe shouldn't vote because they're not educated enough on the issues to make an intelligent decision of who to vote for, and they're not voting for a reason because they don't care or don't understand the issues, and maybe that's fine. But I do think if it was a national holiday and people had the day off from work, or if it was on a Saturday, then you would get more than 50 or 60% of eligible voters would actually go and vote.
Probably.
Some countries, Italy maybe, if you don't vote, you have to pay a tax. So they have 90% participation in their elections.
That would work here. People hate taxes.
People do hate taxes. Yeah, that's why people are voting for Trump, because he's promising to lower taxes.
I don't know. Maybe because I don't pay taxes, but I don't think they're that big of a deal.
It sucks having money come out of your paycheck, but someone's got to fund the governments.
The countries that have higher taxes are doing a lot better than we are. So.
Yeah, and I don't know. That's part of your responsibility for being a citizen within the country you live in, is paying taxes. And our taxes here are not that bad in comparison to other countries.
I saw this video about this woman raising her child in Denmark, and that the baby was so well taken care of by the government. Nothing was out of pocket from taxes, but she paid nothing actually out of her pocket.
Yeah, they probably pay like 70% of their income in taxes, but then you have free healthcare and
She got to birth her baby for free. All childcare is, I can't think of the word, it has an S.
subsidized.
Subsidized by the government. I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah. And they probably have lived much happier, longer, healthier lives.
The baby looked super happy.
I'm sure. It'd be cool. It'd be cool to live in Denmark.
You have to speak Danish.
I don't speak Danish.
Me neither.
So I guess we're not going to Denmark.
No.
I don't think I've ever met anybody from Denmark.
We just watched this movie in my global scholars class about this man who immigrated to Denmark.
Really? Why did he go to Denmark?
Because he was from well, I didn't say that right.
Where was he from?
Afghanistan, and there was war, and he was gay. So he was not welcome there. We didn't tell anyone he was gay until we went to Denmark.
Is Denmark more accepting of the gay people?
Yes.
Okay. Wow, obviously more than Afghanistan. I get that.
That's a stupid question.
Alabama is more accepting of gay people than Afghanistan. So
I said that at the same time.
interesting. Very
His
interesting.
It was animated. I enjoyed it.
Oh, cool.
But it was interesting, though. Well, actually, not interesting. It was a little scary because we were watching the movie and it was like he revealed to his brother that he was gay. And because it wasn't all global scholars, it was like half of the freshman class. And like all the football guys were like, ugh. Then my entire row was like, oh.
Not to stereotype or anything.
No stereotype.
Okay.
They're not going to listen to this.
You don't think the OWU football team is waiting with rapt anticipation for our podcast to drop on Tuesday mornings? They're all in the football house going, guys, the Norah and Dad show's out. Guys, come on. Let's huddle around my iPod and all listen to the Norah and Dad show.
My iPod?
Or whatever. Or
cool.
What's the speaker called? The air speaker?
Whatever.
What are you
talking about?
Let's huddle around my Sonos and listen to the new episode of you don't think so?
Okay.
That's the fantasy world I live in.
Your fantasy football world?
The fantasy football world. You got that right.
Okay.
Oh, my Lord. Any more thoughts on voting?
Do it.
Do it. Just do it. Not to steal a Nike slogan from 30 years ago, but just do it.
That's all I've got.
All right. I would say we'll find out who's going to be president in 2 weeks, but we probably won't. It's probably going to take a little longer than that.
That's so scary.
Will you stay up on election night and watch the results come in?
What night is election night on?
It's a Tuesday.
If it was on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I would. But Tuesday, I have class at 11. That's so early. I have to go to bed early.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see.
All right. I will probably stay up, maybe with a bottle of wine. And
that'll make it more fun.
Well, it'd definitely make it more fun and wait for the world to burn around us.
Did you watch the debate with a bottle of wine? Did you do a drinking game?
We watched your mom and I did have some wine during the presidential debate. Definitely made it more fun. At one point, your mom got so animated, she almost spilled her entire glass of wine all over the couch.
I won socks when I watched the vice presidential debate. So I'm winning.
From bingo?
Yeah.
From debate bingo?
Debate bingo.
Awesome. 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 All right. Anything else you want to add about elections, voting, bartending, gigging? All right.
I forgot they can't see me.
I know you're shaking your head. No, they cannot see you. Should we play out with your election song?
Sure.
So Norah wrote a song 4 years ago. Was it on election day you actually wrote it?
Yeah.
About not being able to vote.
Yeah.
As we were all didn't know who the president was going to be because it was all gunked up 4 years ago, waiting for them to count votes in Pennsylvania and Georgia. So you sat down and wrote a song. I think it's a darn good song.
I do too.
So
maybe a sequel.
I can probably pull audio probably from when you played it at the Music Box back in the spring.
Yeah. I also have an actual recording of it from my English project I did freshman year.
If you can find that.
I don't know how good it is, but
send it to me. I'll compare the two and maybe I'll pick the best one of the two.
Okay.
Alrighty. Yeah, we'll play out with Norah's. It's called 4 years.
Yes.
Yeah, it's called 4 years. It's about Norah's views on politics and the election when she was 14 years old. Democracy. All right, have a great couple of weeks. We'll see everyone.
Thank you.
We'll see everyone in 2 more weeks. And I guess I'm done. All right. I love you.
Me too.
I love you,
too.
kiddo. Bye.
Bye-bye.
The cover. The picture. I got the best. But I refuse to choose trouble. Wrote it. It's it's was college. It was school. Redone and done. Good. So it's was up to I didn't allow me back. Cake sprouts faster than Beverly's. Faster. Irish click forest. What's it? First, stop. The being murdered. Melting choice. Think that's a long time. And so it for concern. Well, where's the sunrise?